Keanu was at LAX. 6:30 in the morning. Flying to New York for a film premiere. The event was that evening. Red carpet. Press. The whole routine. His assistant, Jamie, had suggested multiple times he take a private jet. It's faster. More comfortable. You can rest. Arrive refreshed. He declined. As always, private jets felt wasteful to him. The carbon footprint bothered him. The isolation, too. He preferred commercial flights. Among regular people. Reminded him he wasn't special. Just another person trying to get somewhere. Jamie had pushed for business class at least. First class is booked, but I can get you business. Lie flat seat. Priority boarding. Lounge access. Economy is fine. Keanu, you're going to a premiere. You should arrive rested. I'll sleep on the plane. Economy seats recline. I'll be fine. Jamie had sighed. Knew better than to keep pushing. Keanu was stubborn about these things. Had his principles. Lived by them consistently. No matter how inconvenient. So here he was. Terminal 6. Regular check-in. Regular everything. He'd packed light. Just a backpack. One change of clothes. Toiletries. The suit for the premiere was already in New York. Sent ahead by the studio. He traveled minimal. Didn't need much. He was dressed casually. Dark jeans. Black t-shirt. Gray zip-up hoodie. Comfortable sneakers. Baseball cap pulled low. Sunglasses, even though he was indoors. Not trying to hide exactly. Just not advertising. Wanting to move through the airport without attention. Check-in had been smooth. Self-service kiosk. Boarding pass on his phone. No interaction needed. Now, he was heading to security. The TSA checkpoint. He'd been through thousands of these. Knew the drill. Shoes off. Electronics out. Liquids in a bag. Belt off. Empty pockets. Walk through scanner. Wait for all clear. The security line was long. Morning rush. Hundreds of people. Business travelers with roller bags. Families with kids. Tourist groups. Everyone tired. Everyone stressed. Rushing to make flights. The energy was tense. Anxious. Keanu joined the line. Didn't look for priority access. Didn't ask for special treatment. Just took his place. Behind a family of 4. In front of a young couple arguing quietly about whether they'd packed chargers. He pulled out a book from his backpack. Paperback. Philosophy. Camus. He'd been reading it for weeks. Few pages at a time. Difficult text. Required focus. But rewarding. He opened to his bookmark. Started reading. Tuning out the chaos around him. The line moved slowly. Standard pace. 5 minutes per person average. Keanu was patient. Not checking his watch. Not sighing. Not performing impatience like many around him. Just reading. Waiting. Present. People didn't notice him. The cap and sunglasses helped. But mostly people were in their own worlds. Staring at phones. Worrying about flights. Dealing with kids. Nobody was looking at other passengers. That was the beauty of airports. Anonymity in crowds. After 20 minutes, he was near the front. He bookmarked his page. Put the book back in his backpack. Started the pre-security ritual. Took off his cap. Left the sunglasses on. Removed his hoodie. Took off his belt. Untied his shoes. All the security theater Americans had accepted as normal. He placed items in gray plastic bins. Shoes in one. Backpack in another. Hoodie, belt, phone, wallet in a third. Slid them onto the conveyor belt. Stepped toward the metal detector. Waited for the TSA agent to wave him through. The agent was a man. Late 30s. Muscular. Shaved head. Name badge. Derek Thompson. He looked tired. More than tired. Exhausted. Eyes bloodshot. Posture tense. He was barking instructions at passengers. Move faster. Bins on a belt. Everything out of your pockets. No, not like that. Stack them properly. You're holding up the line. His tone was aggressive. Impatient. Borderline hostile. Not unusual for TSA agents. The job wore people down. Dealing with thousands of stressed travelers. Every day. For years. Low pay. High pressure. Constant complaints. It created burnout. Created cynicism. Created people like Derek. Keanu approached the metal detector. Derek barely glanced at him. Go. Hands up. Keanu walked through. Raised his arms. The machine beeped. Clear. He stepped to the other side. Waited for his bins. His backpack came through the X-ray. The screen operator paused. Looked closer. Flagged it. Called to Derek. Bag check. 3. Derek walked over. Grabbed the bin with Keanu's backpack. Pulled it off the belt. This yours? Yes. Step over here. Derek's tone was curt. No please. No courtesy. Just commands. He placed the bin on a metal table. Opened the backpack roughly. Started pulling items out. Book. Notebook. Pens. Phone charger. Laptop. Water bottle. Snacks. He held up the book. Looked at it with disdain. What's this? The Myth of Sisyphus. He said it wrong. Pronounced it Sisyphus instead of Sisyphus. What kind of weird stuff you reading? Keanu didn't correct the pronunciation. Just philosophy. Personal interest. Philosophy. Derek smirked. Looked at his colleague at the next station. A younger woman. Hey, Tanya. Check it out. This guy's reading philosophy. Paper books. He said it mockingly. Like it was absurd. Who even reads paper books anymore? You know they have audiobooks now, right? Kindle? Join the 21st century, man. Tanya glanced over. Smiled awkwardly. Clearly uncomfortable with Derek's tone, but not willing to challenge a senior colleague. She went back to processing her own line. Derek continued rifling through the backpack. Pulled out the notebook. Flipped through pages. Saw handwriting. Sketches. Notes. What's all this? You some kind of writer? Just notes. Ideas. Ideas. Derek tossed the notebook back in the bin carelessly. It landed on the charger cord. He wasn't being careful. Wasn't being respectful of property. Just going through motions with barely concealed contempt. He picked up the water bottle. Aluminum. Reusable. This empty. Yes. Derek shook it. Confirmed. Dropped it back. It clanged loudly against the metal table. People in line were watching now. Some with sympathy. Some with annoyance at the delay. Some filming on phones. Always filming. Derek pulled out a small bag of almonds. Food. You know you can't bring food, right? Almonds are allowed. Solid food is permitted. Don't tell me the rules. I know the rules. Derek was getting irritated. Didn't like being corrected. Even politely. Even accurately. He tossed the almonds back. Rezipped the backpack partially. Not all the way. Left items disorganized. Shoved the bin toward Keanu. There. You're clear. Pack your stuff. Move along. You're holding up the line. Keanu gathered his items. Started repacking methodically. Putting things back in order. He wasn't rushing. Wasn't flustered. Just calmly restoring organization. Derek watched with obvious impatience. Come on, man. Faster. We got 300 people behind you. Some of us have real jobs to do. A passenger in line spoke up. Middle-aged woman. Excuse me, but that's rude. He's going as fast as he can. Derek turned to her. Ma'am, mind your own business. He's fine. I'm Eufine. We're all fine. Another passenger, young man, closer to the table, squinted at Keanu. Recognition dawning. He pulled out his phone. Started filming openly. Whispered to the person next to him. Dude, that's Keanu Reeves. The whisper spread. Like wildfire. Row by row. Person to person. That's Keanu Reeves. Wait, seriously? Yeah, look. Oh my God. Within seconds, a dozen phones were out. Filming. Photographing. The energy shifted. People were excited. Shocked. A celebrity. Here. In the regular security line. Being treated like this. The middle-aged woman who'd spoken earlier now spoke louder. Indignant. That's Keanu Reeves. How dare you treat him like this? Do you know who he is? Derek turned. Looked at Keanu properly for the first time. Without the cap, with the sunglasses pushed up on his head, the face was unmistakable. Keanu Reeves. The actor. The legend. Derek's expression flickered. Surprise. Then defensiveness. Then something harder. Pride wounded. I don't care if he's the President of the United States, Derek said loudly. Addressing the crowd now. Making a point. The rules apply to everyone. He goes through security like everyone else. That's the job. That's the policy. Equal treatment. More passengers joined in. This is disrespectful. You were rude. He didn't deserve that. A small crowd forming. Phones everywhere. All capturing this. The famous actor. The rude TSA agent. The brewing conflict. Keanu had finished packing his backpack. Zipped it fully. Put his hoodie back on. His belt. His shoes. He stood. Backpack over one shoulder. Looked at Derek. Then at the crowd. raised his hand slightly. Calming gesture. Hey, everyone, please. His voice was calm, gentle, but carried. People quieted, listened. He's right. The rules are for everyone. He's doing his job. Security is important. We all want to be safe. He's making sure of that. It's okay. The woman protested. But he was rude to you. He was thorough. That's his job. I appreciate it. Keanu looked at Derek. Made eye contact. No anger. No resentment. Just calm acknowledgement. Thank you for keeping us safe. Derek stood there, caught off guard. He'd expected confrontation, argument, maybe a complaint to supervisors. Instead, this defense, gratitude, from the person he'd just treated poorly. He didn't know how to respond. Manage a stiff nod. Just doing my job. I know. Thank you. Keanu turned to the crowd. Seriously, everyone. It's fine. Let's all get to our flights. Safe travels. He smiled. That Keanu smile. Warm, genuine, disarming. The tension broke. People lowered phones. Some still filming, but the energy had shifted. From outrage to something else. Admiration. Surprise. Wonder. One man called out, "You're a class act, Keanu." Others echoed, "Love you, Keanu. You're the best. John Wick forever." Keanu waved. Modest. Slightly embarrassed by the attention. He walked toward his gate. Didn't rush. Didn't flee. Just walked. Normal pace. Normal person. Behind him, the crowd dispersed. Went back to their own security processes. But buzzing. Talking. About what just happened. About Keanu. About grace under pressure. Derek stood at his station, watching Keanu disappear into the terminal. His colleague Tanya approached. That was intense. Yeah. You okay? I don't know. Derek's hand was shaking slightly. Adrenaline. Or something else. Realization, maybe. I was a jerk to Keanu Reeves. And he defended me. You were doing your job. I was being an asshole. There's a difference. Derek ran his hand over his head. Felt the weight of it. And everyone filmed it. This is going to be everywhere, isn't it? Probably. Tanya's voice was sympathetic. Not judgmental. But he defended you. That counts for something. Does it? I don't know. Derek went back to his post. Waved the next passenger through. But his mind was elsewhere. On the look in Keanu's eyes. Calm. Kind. Forgiving. Derek hadn't seen kindness directed at him in a long time. Passengers hated TSA agents. Saw them as obstacles. Annoyances. Nobody thanked them. Nobody appreciated them. They were just faceless authority figures. Derek had internalized that. Become what people expected. Hostile. Unfeeling. Efficient. But Keanu had seen him as a person. Had defended him. Why? Derek didn't understand. The cognitive dissonance gnawed at him. He'd been rude. Dismissive. Mocking. And the response was grace. Protection. It didn't compute. By the time Keanu reached his gate, the videos were uploading. Multiple angles. Different passengers. All showing the same thing. TSA agent rough with Keanu Reeves. Crowd defending Keanu. Keanu defending the agent. The juxtaposition was striking. Powerful. First video hit Twitter within 10 minutes. Caption. TSA agent treating Keanu Reeves like garbage. And Keanu still being the nicest human alive. This man is a saint. The video had the full interaction. Derek's mocking tone about books. The rough handling of belongings. The dismissive commands. Then the crowd reaction. Then Keanu's calm defense. He's doing his job. Thank you for keeping us safe. Comments flooded in immediately. Only Keanu would defend someone treating him badly. This is why everyone loves this man. The TSA agent should be ashamed. No, Keanu literally said he was just doing his job. Maybe we should listen to Keanu. TSA agents are overworked and underpaid. This is systemic. The discourse split. Half outraged at Derek. Half sympathetic after Keanu's defense. But everyone was talking about it. Sharing. Resharing. By the time Keanu's flight boarded, the video had 2 million views. Keanu sat in his economy seat. Middle row. Middle seat. Most uncomfortable spot on the plane. But it was what was available when he booked. He didn't complain. Just settled in. Put in earbuds. Closed his eyes. The flight attendant recognized him. Offered to see if there was space in an exit row. More legroom. He declined politely. I'm fine here. Thank you, though. She smiled. Moved on. Throughout the flight, passengers occasionally approached, asked for photos, autographs. He obliged everyone. Patient, kind, never annoyed, even when he was clearly trying to rest. This was part of it. Part of being public. Part of the job. He'd made peace with it long ago. 6 hours later, he landed at JFK. Checked his phone after landing. Hundreds of notifications. Text from Jamie. From his publicist, Lisa. From friends. All about the same thing. The TSA video. He watched it. Saw himself through strangers' eyes. Saw Derek's behavior. Saw his own response. Nodded to himself. He'd handled it right. Stayed calm. Didn't escalate. Defended someone doing a difficult job. But he also saw the problem. Derek's behavior wasn't okay. The rudeness. The mocking. That wasn't professional. Wasn't acceptable. Keanu had defended the principle. The job of security. But the execution had been poor. And now Derek would face consequences. Lisa called as he was waiting for luggage. Keanu, you've seen it. Yeah. It's everywhere. 10 million views across platforms. Trending #1 on Twitter. CNN is covering it. Everyone wants a statement. What kind of statement? About the TSA agent. Whether you're filing a complaint. Whether you think he should be fired. The usual outrage cycle stuff. Keanu thought, I'm not filing a complaint. He was doing his job. Could he have been nicer? Sure. But the job is hard. I don't want him punished for one bad interaction. The TSA is already investigating. They have to. It went viral. There will be consequences whether you want them or not. Then I'll make a statement. Defending him. Explaining context. Keanu, are you sure? He was genuinely rude to you. I'm sure. This is bigger than one rude agent. This is about how we treat service workers. How we expect them to be perfect under impossible conditions. I want to talk about that. Lisa sighed. She'd worked with Keanu long enough to know when he'd made up his mind. Okay, I'll draft something. Send it to you for approval. Thanks, Lisa. He hung up, grabbed his backpack from the carousel, headed to ground transportation. A car was waiting. Studio sent. Driver holding a sign with his name. Professional. Quiet. Drove him to his hotel. Midtown Manhattan. Nice but not excessive. He checked in. Went to his room. Had 3 hours before he needed to start prep for the premiere. He lay on the bed. Thought about Derek. About the look on his face when Keanu had defended him. Confusion. Surprise. Maybe shame. Derek was burned out. That was obvious. How many years of dealing with angry passengers? How many times had he been yelled at? Threatened? Blamed for delays he didn't cause? For rules he didn't make? TSA agents were punching bags. For a frightened, frustrated public. For a security apparatus that was more theater than substance. They were underpaid, undertrained, overworked, and then blamed when they weren't perfect paragons of customer service. Keanu understood that. He'd worked service jobs when he was young. Before acting took off, he'd been a waiter, a janitor. He knew what it was like to be treated as less than human by people who saw you as servant, saw you as beneath them. It bred resentment, cynicism, eventually cruelty. Derek needed help, not punishment. The system needed reform, not scapegoating. Keanu decided that's what his statement would focus on. Not the individual, the system, the culture, the way society treated its frontline workers. His phone buzzed. Text from Lisa. Draft statement attached. He opened it. Read through. It was good. Professional. But a bit too sanitized. Too PR speak. He rewrote sections. Made it more personal. More direct. Sent it back. 30 minutes later, Lisa called. This works. More Keanu. Less corporate. I'll release it in an hour. Gives the news cycle time to build more. Then we redirect it. Sounds good. And Keanu? This is going to help that guy. You know that, right? I hope so. He seemed like he needed it. The statement went out at 4 p.m. Eastern. Posted on Keanu's official social media. Picked up by news outlets within minutes. It read, I've seen the video from LAX this morning. I want to address it directly. Officer Thompson was doing his job, ensuring security. Yes, his manner was brusque. Yes, he could have been kinder. But his job is incredibly difficult. TSA agents deal with thousands of stressed passengers every day. They're underpaid, understaffed, working long hours in high-pressure environments. We ask them to keep us safe. Then we vilify them when they're not also perfectly pleasant. That's not fair. Officer Thompson doesn't deserve to be fired. He deserves support, better training, better working conditions, better pay. The problem isn't one agent having a bad moment. It's a system that creates those moments. That's what we should be discussing, not destroying one person's livelihood over a viral video. I hope TSA leadership sees this as an opportunity, not for punishment, but for reform, for investing in their people, for creating culture where agents can do their jobs effectively and humanely. Officer Thompson, if you're reading this, thank you for your service. I meant what I said. You were doing your job. I hope you're okay. The response was immediate and divided. Half the internet praised Keanu. This is peak Keanu, turning a negative into a call for systemic change. Legend. He could have destroyed this guy. Instead, he's protecting him and advocating for better conditions. Humanity. The other half was skeptical. He's defending someone who mocked him. Being nice is one thing. Being a doormat is another. TSA agents can be professional and do their jobs. This guy was just an asshole. But the conversation had shifted from fire the agent to fix the system. News outlets started running pieces. Investigative journalism about TSA working conditions. Interviews with agents. Anonymous testimonies about the stress, the burnout, the impossible expectations. One agent, 20-year veteran, told a reporter, "We yelled at all day, called names, threatened, then expected to smile and be friendly, while making barely above minimum wage, with no real breaks. Mandatory overtime. It breaks you. You either quit or you harden. Most of us harden, become the thing passengers hate. It's survival." The narrative was changing. Keanu had done that. With one statement. With one choice to show grace instead of outrage. It wouldn't fix everything, but it opened a door. Started a conversation. That was something. At TSA headquarters in Arlington, Virginia, the executives were in emergency meetings. The video had created a PR nightmare. Millions of views. National news coverage. Calls from Congress asking about agent training and conduct. They had to respond. Had to show they took it seriously. But Keanu's statement complicated things. He defended the agent. Called for systemic reform. Not punishment. If they fired Derek Thompson now, they'd look vindictive, ignoring the very person who'd been wronged. But if they did nothing, they'd look weak. Like they tolerated misconduct. Sarah Martinez, the TSA administrator, sat at the head of the conference table. 50s. Career federal employee. She'd been in transportation security for 20 years. Started as a screener herself. Worked her way up. She understood both sides. "What are our options?" she asked her team. Legal counsel spoke first. Technically, Agent Thompson didn't violate protocol. He conducted a secondary inspection. He was within his rights. The tone was unprofessional, but not terminally so. Unprofessional is putting it mildly, the PR director said. He mocked a passenger. Was dismissive and rude. On camera, seen by millions. But the passenger isn't complaining, legal countered. In fact, he's defending the agent. Publicly. That matters. Sarah thought. What's Thompson's record? HR pulled up a file on a laptop. 12 years with TSA. Started at LAX. Still at LAX. No major disciplinary issues. A few passenger complaints over the years. Nothing sustained. Performance reviews are average. He's competent, but not exceptional. No red flags until now. Personal situation. Married. 2 kids. Wife doesn't work. He's the sole income. Standard GS, 7 pay grade. About $42,000 a year in LA. He's probably struggling financially. Sarah nodded. That was the reality for most TSA agents. Low pay. High cost of living. Families to support. Stress compounding. Has he been contacted? His supervisor called him in yesterday. He's on administrative leave pending investigation. Standard protocol for viral incidents. How's he taking it? Not well, according to the supervisor. Scared. Thinks he's going to be fired. Worried about his family. Sarah made a decision. Here's what we do. Mandatory retraining. Customer service. Stress management. Conflict de escalation. 2 weeks. Paid. After completion, he returns to duty. But on probation. 6 months. Any more incidents, he's out. That's it. PR looks skeptical. The public expects more. The public can expect what they want. Keanu Reeves expects us to address systemic issues, not scapegoat one agent. We'll announce a comprehensive review of training programs, agent wellness initiatives, increased funding requests for better staffing. We use this as a catalyst for actual change, not just theater. Legal nodded. That's defensible and aligns with Mr. Reeves' statement. Shows we're listening. Exactly. Draft the announcement. I want to out by end of day. Sarah closed the file, and I want to meet with Thompson. Personally, before he comes back, I want to understand what happened. From him. 2 days later, Derek was called to a meeting. Not at LAX. At a regional office in downtown LA. He drove there with hands shaking, convinced this was termination. Formal firing. He'd barely slept since the incident. Played it over and over in his mind. The mocking, the rudeness, all captured on video. All his fault. His wife had tried to reassure him. Keanu Reeves defended you. That has to count for something. Why would he do that? I was awful to him. I don't know. Maybe he's just that kind of person. Derek didn't understand it. In his experience, people didn't help those who wronged them. They retaliated. They demanded consequences. But Keanu had done the opposite. It didn't make sense. He arrived at the office, was escorted to a small conference room, told to wait. He sat, sweating despite the air conditioning. After 10 minutes, the door opened. A woman entered. Professional. Confident. Sarah Martinez. He recognized her from training videos. The administrator. Top of the chain. His heart sank further. If the administrator was here, this was serious. Agent Thompson. I am Sarah Martinez. Yes, ma'am. I know who you are. Good. Sit, please. She sat across from him. No desk between them. Just 2 chairs. Intimate setup. Intentional. I've seen the video. Multiple times. I've read your file. I've read Keanu Reeves' statement. Now I want to hear from you. What happened? Derek swallowed. I was doing my job. Secondary screening. The bag was flagged. I'm not asking about procedure. I'm asking about your behavior. Your tone. The mocking. Silence. Then, I was out of line. Why? I don't know. That's not good enough, Derek. I need to understand. Was it personal? Did you recognize him and resent him? Were you having a bad day? What? Derek's voice cracked. I'm having a bad decade. He hadn't meant to say it. It just came out. Raw. Honest. Sarah leaned forward. Explain. I've been doing this 12 years. Every day it's the same. Angry passengers. Complaints. Threats. People treating me like I'm the enemy. Like I invented these rules. I'm just trying to do my job. Keep people safe. But nobody cares. Nobody appreciates it. They just want to get through faster. And I'm the obstacle. After a while, you stop caring too. You stop seeing people as people. They're just bodies, moving through a line. And you get hard. Cynical. Mean. So you took it out on Mr. Reeves? I didn't know who he was. Not until after. He was just another passenger. Another face. I was on autopilot. Being efficient. Being harsh because that's what gets people moving. And then, Derek's voice trailed off. Then what? Then he defended me. After I mocked him. After I was rude. He could have destroyed me. Could have demanded I be fired. Instead, he said I was doing my job. Thanked me. Derek looked up. Eyes wet. Why would he do that? Sarah sat back. Because he saw what I'm seeing now. Someone who's burned out. Someone who's lost themselves in the grind. Someone who needs help. Not punishment. So you're not firing me? No, but you're going on retraining. 2 weeks. Customer service. Stress management. Learning how to do this job without losing your humanity. Can you do that? I can try. Trying isn't enough. You have to commit. Because, Derek, you get one more chance. 1. If there's another incident, another video, another moment where you treat someone like you treated Mr. Reeves, you're done. Clear. Yes, ma'am. Good. The retraining starts Monday. It's at a facility in Pasadena. 8 hours a day. You'll be paid. Afterwards, you return to LAX. But on probation. 6 months. Your supervisor will be watching. Passengers will be watching. Everyone's going to be watching. You okay with that? Do I have a choice? Of course you do. You can resign right now. Walk away. Find another career where you can do the work. Become the agent you wanted to be when you started. The one who cared. The one who saw people as people. Which will it be? Derek thought about his family, his kids, the bills, the lack of other options, but also about Keanu's face, the calm, the kindness, the grace. Someone had given him a chance. Maybe you should take it. I'll do the work. Good. Sarah stood, extended her hand. Derek stood, shook it. One more thing. Mr. Reeves' statement wasn't just about you. It was about all of us, about how TSA needs to support its agents better. I'm taking that seriously. We're implementing changes, better training, wellness programs, pushing for better pay. It won't happen overnight, but it's starting. You're going to be part of that. An example of someone who came back from the edge, who learned, who got better. Can you be that? I'll try. I will. I will be that. I'm counting on it. Sarah left. Derek stood in the empty conference room, relief flooding through him. He still had his job, still had a chance. He wouldn't waste it. The retraining was intensive. 8 other TSA agents, all from different airports, all there for various incidents. None as viral as Derek's, but all struggling with the same issues. Burnout, compassion fatigue, cynicism. The instructor was a former agent, retired after 25 years, now a consultant, specialized in law enforcement wellness. His name was Marcus, 60s, black, patient voice. Let me start by saying this. Marcus began the first day. You're not bad people. You're exhausted people. There's a difference. This job is designed to wear you down. Low pay, high stress, constant negativity, no appreciation. Most people would crack under those conditions. You lasted years. That's remarkable. But somewhere along the way, you lost something. Empathy, joy, purpose. We're here to help you find it again. Over 2 weeks, they did exercises, role-playing difficult passenger interactions, learning de-escalation technique, practicing responses to hostility that didn't involve becoming hostile back. They discussed trauma, secondary trauma from being the target of constant anger, how it accumulates, how it changes you. Marcus shared research, studies on burnout in service professions, how it manifests, how it can be addressed. They learned about self-care, about setting boundaries, about finding meaning in the work beyond just getting through the day. They also watched videos, examples of excellent customer service from various industries, airlines, hotels, hospitals, seeing how professionals in other high-stress fields maintained humanity, remained kind under pressure. It was possible. It required intention, but it was possible. Derek absorbed everything, took notes, asked questions. For the first time in years, he felt like he was learning, growing, not just surviving. The other agents noticed his engagement. Some were skeptical. You're only here because you went viral. Rest of us are here for minor stuff. Doesn't matter why we're here, Derek said. Matters what we do with it. I messed up. Badly. Publicly. I'm not going to waste a second chance. By the end of 2 weeks, something had shifted. Not completely. He wasn't transformed. But the cynicism had cracked. There was space now. For reflection. For choice. For being different. Marcus pulled him aside on the last day. You did good work here, Derek. Real work. But the hardest part comes next. Going back. To the same environment. Same pressures. Same passengers. You'll be tempted to fall back into old patterns. Don't. Remember what you learned here. Remember why you started this job. I will. And Derek? Thank Keanu Reeves. If you get the chance. He didn't have to defend you. Could have let you hang. Instead, he gave you a path forward. That's rare. How do I thank someone for something like that? By becoming who he saw in you. The person doing a hard job. Trying their best. That's how. Derek returned to LAX the following Monday. His supervisor, Janet, met with him before his shift. Welcome back. You know you're on probation. 6 months. I'll be monitoring. So will others. Stay professional. Stay kind. You'll be fine. I understand. One more thing. We've had a lot of attention since the video. Media. Passengers filming more. Looking for another incident. Don't give them one. I won't. His first shift back was nerve-wracking. Every passenger felt like a test. Every interaction a potential viral moment. But he used the techniques. Took breaths. Spoke calmly. Made eye contact. Smiled when appropriate. Remembered people were people, not obstacles. A businessman was rude to him. Snapped about the wait. Old Derek would have snapped back. New Derek said. I understand you're in a hurry, sir. I'll get you through as quickly as I can. Thanks for your patience. The businessman blinked. Surprised. Softened slightly. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Small moment. But significant. Derek felt it. The possibility of different outcomes. Based on different choices. At the end of his shift, Janet checked in. How'd it go? Good. Hard. But good. No incidents. No incidents. Keep it up. Over the following weeks, Derek maintained the change. It wasn't easy. Some days, he wanted to revert. To bark orders. To be harsh. It was easier. Faster. But he caught himself. Chose différentes. Slowly, it became more natural. Less forced. Passengers noticed. A few even thanked him. You're the nicest TSA agent I've ever dealt with. Thanks for being patient with my kids. Small comments. But they mattered. They reminded him why he'd taken this job originally. To serve. To help. To protect. 3 weeks after his return, he was working his station when he saw someone familiar. Tall. Dark hair graying. Wearing jeans and a hoodie. Baseball cap. Keanu Reeves. Again. Same terminal. Same security line. Derek's heart raced. This was it. A test. A chance. Or a disaster waiting to happen. Keanu hadn't noticed him yet. Was reading a book. Waiting his turn. Derek could call a colleague. Ask them to handle it. Avoid the situation. But that felt cowardly. He'd done the work. Time to show it. Keanu reached the front of the line. Looked up. Saw Derek. Recognition flashed across his face. Surprise. Then something else. Curiosity, maybe. He approached. Derek spoke first. Voice steady despite nerves. Good morning, sir. Do you have any items to declare? Electronics? Liquids over 3 ounces? No, just my backpack. Phone and laptop inside. Perfect. Please place your bag in a bin. Shoes and belt off. When you're ready, step through the scanner. Keanu complied. No fuss. No hesitation. The bag went through. Clean. No flags. He walked through the metal detector. Clear. Derek handed him a bin with his belongings. You're all set, sir. Have a safe flight. Keanu took the bin. Paused. Thank you. You have a good day, too. Their eyes met. A moment of understanding. Of acknowledgement. Keanu nodded slightly. Almost imperceptible. Derek nodded back. Then Keanu was gone. Walking toward his gate. Janet had been watching from nearby. Came over. That went well. Yeah. Derek was shaking slightly. Adrenaline. Relief. Yeah, it did. You handled it perfectly. Professional. Respectful. That's the standard now. That's the standard now, Derek echoed. He meant it. That night, Derek wrote a letter. On actual paper. He wasn't good with words. But he needed to say something. To try. He wrote, Mr. Reeves, I don't know if you'll ever read this. But I needed to write it. I'm the TSA agent from LAX. The one who treated you badly. Who mocked you. Who was rude and unprofessional. You defended me. Publicly. When you had every right to demand I be fired. I don't understand why you did that. But it changed my life. I was burned out. Cynical. Angry at the world. I'd become the kind of person I used to hate. Your grace gave me a chance to change that. To remember who I wanted to be. I went through retraining. Learned how to do this job without losing my humanity. It's still hard. Every day is hard. But I'm trying. Being better. Treating people with respect. The way I should have treated you. I saw you today. At LAX. I hope you noticed the difference. I hope I showed you that your faith in me wasn't misplaced. Thank you. For seeing past one bad moment. For giving me a second chance. For speaking up about the real problems we face. You didn't have to. But you did. That means more than I can express. With deep gratitude, Derek Thompson. He mailed it to Arch Motorcycle. The only address he could find connected to Keanu. Didn't know if it would reach him. But it felt important to try. To close the loop. To acknowledge the gift he'd been given. 2 weeks later, he received an email. From an address he didn't recognize. The subject line, Thank you for your service. He opened it. It was short. From Keanu. Derek, got your letter. Really appreciate you taking the time to write. More importantly, appreciate the work you've done. Saw it firsthand at LAX last month. The difference was clear. That's not easy work. Changing patterns. Choosing kindness under stress. But you're doing it. Keep going. The job matters. You matter. Thank you for serving. Thank you for growing. Best, Keanu. Derek read it 3 times, then showed his wife. She cried. Happy tears. He wrote back. Keanu Reeves wrote you back. He didn't have to, but he did, because he's that kind of person. And now you're becoming that kind of person too. Derek saved the email, printed it, put it in his locker at work. On hard days, when he wanted to revert, when passengers were awful and the stress was crushing, he'd read it. Remember, choose differently. 6 months passed. His probation ended. Janet called him into her office. Your probation is complete. No incidents. Multiple positive comments from passengers. You become one of our most professional agents. I am impressed, Derek. Really impressed. Thank you. How do you feel? Tired, but good. Like I'm doing the job, right finally. The way it should be done. You are. Keep it up. And Derek? We're starting a new training program. For all agents. Based on the reforms that came out of your situation. We need experienced agents to help develop it. Would you be interested? Me? Train others. You've been through it. The burnout. The comeback. You understand both sides. Your perspective would be valuable. Derek thought about Marcus, the instructor who'd helped him, about passing it forward. Yeah, I'd be honored. Good. We start planning next month. As Derek left her office, he felt something he hadn't felt in years. Pride. Not in being recognized, but in the work itself, in becoming better, in helping others do the same. The viral video, still circulated occasionally, resurfaced every few months when someone rediscovered it. Each time, the comments were similar. Outrage at his behavior. Admiration for Keanu's grace. But now there were also updates. People noting he'd completed retraining. That he'd changed. That second chances were real. One comment thread showed someone who'd gone through LAX recently. Had Derek Thompson as my TSA agent today. The guy from the Keanu video. He was professional, kind, patient. People can change. This guy did. That meant everything. Not the defense from a celebrity, but the recognition from regular people. That growth was possible. That mistakes didn't have to be permanent. That grace could actually change lives. 1 year after the incident, a documentary crew approached TSA about filming a short piece on airport security. The angle was humanizing the agents, showing the real challenges they faced, the stress, the impossible expectations. TSA agreed, saw it as opportunity for positive PR, for showing their side. The director, a woman named Rebecca Chun, wanted to feature several agents. Different airports, different backgrounds, but she specifically requested Derek Thompson. His story was known. The viral video, Keanu's defense, the transformation. It was compelling. Derek was hesitant when approached. I don't want to be famous for being a jerk. You won't be, Rebecca said. We're telling the story of what came after. About how the system fails workers. About how one moment of grace created change. About redemption. I'm not redeemed. I'm just trying to do better. That's exactly the story. Will you do it? He talked to his wife. She encouraged him. If it helps other people understand what you go through, what all TSA agents go through, then it's worth it. He agreed. Filming took place over 2 weeks. Rebecca's crew followed him through shifts, captured the reality, the long hours, the difficult passengers, the constant tension, but also the moments of connection, when passengers were kind, when he helped someone, when the job felt meaningful. They interviewed him about his background, about why he joined TSA originally. I wanted to serve. After 9/11, everyone wanted to serve. This seemed like a way to protect people, keep them safe. It felt important. When did that change? Gradually, year by year. You see the worst in people at airports. Everyone's stressed, angry, late. They take it out on you. After thousands of interactions like that, you harden, or you break. I hardened, and the incident with Keanu Reeves was my lowest point. I'd become what I hated, someone who treated people as less than human, as obstacles. I was cruel, and it was captured, seen by millions. That could have ended me. Should have, maybe, but instead, he defended me, spoke about systemic problems, gave me a chance to change. I took it. How has the job changed for you since then? I see people differently now, or I see them again, as individuals, with their own stress, their own stories. My job is to keep them safe, but I can do that with dignity, with respect. It's harder sometimes, takes more energy, but it's the right way. Rebecca also interviewed other agents, younger ones, veterans, all sharing similar stories. The grind, the burnout, the lack of appreciation, but also the moments that made it worthwhile. A lost child reunited with parents. An elderly passenger helped through the process. Small victories. They interviewed passengers too. Some complained about TSA, the inefficiency, the rudeness, but others defended agents. They're doing an impossible job. I try to be patient. Say thank you. It's not their fault the system is broken. And they interviewed Keanu. Rebecca reached out through his publicist. Expected a polite decline. Instead, he agreed. They filmed at the Arch Motorcycle Workshop. Keanu in his element. Comfortable. Tell me about that day at LAX. Rebecca started. I was flying to New York. Regular flight. Going through security like everyone else. The agent, Derek, was rough. Rude. Mocking. It wasn't pleasant. But I understood it wasn't about me. He was having a hard time. Burned out. I've been there. In different contexts. But I've been there. You defended him publicly. Why? Because punishing one person doesn't fix a system. Derek needed support. Training. A chance to recover. But more than that, TSA needed to address why their agents were burning out. Low pay. High stress. No prosciation. Those are solvable problems. But only if we talk about them. Not just scapegoat individuals. Did you expect the response you got? No. But I'm glad it started conversations. About how we treat service workers. About systemic issues versus individual failings. Those conversations are important. Have you been back through LAX? Through Derek's line? Keanu smiled. I have. Few months ago. He was professional. Kind. Completely different. That's what second chances look like. That's what redemption looks like. Not perfect, just better. Choosing better. What do you want people to take from your part in this story? That grace matters. That everyone's fighting battles we don't see. That responding with kindness instead of outrage creates space for growth. Not just for the other person, for ourselves too. Holding on to anger, demanding punishment. That doesn't heal anything, doesn't fix anything. But grace? Grace can change everything. The documentary premiered 6 months later at Tribeca Film Festival. 38 minutes long. Titled The Invisible Line, Life in TSA. It featured 5 agents. Derek was the through line. His story bookended the piece. Opening with a viral video. Closing with him training new agents. Teaching them what he'd learned. How to maintain humanity in a dehumanizing job. The reception was strong. Standing ovation at the premiere. Reviews praised its balance. Showing both legitimate complaints about TSA and the human cost of the work. It streamed on Netflix 2 months later. Reached millions. The impact was tangible. Public perception of TSA softened slightly. Not dramatically, but measurably. Surveys showed increased sympathy for agents. More people saying thank you. Fewer angry confrontations. Small shifts, but real. Internally, TSA used the documentary for training. Showed it to new recruits, to existing agents, as example of what to aspire to. How to handle stress without losing yourself. Derek became an unlikely spokesperson, invited to speak at regional trainings. At conferences, he was uncomfortable with attention at first. I'm not a hero. I was the villain. I just stopped being one. But Marcus, his original trainer, pushed back. You're someone who faced their worst self and changed. That takes courage. That inspires people. Let it. So Derek leaned into it. Spoke honestly about his journey. About hitting bottom. About the grace that lifted him. About the daily choice to be better. His talks resonated. Other burned-out agents saw themselves. Saw a path forward. One agent approached him after a talk. Chicago O'Hare. Young woman. Maybe 30. I was like you. Am like you. Mean. Cynical. I hate who I've become. But I don't know how to change. Start small, Derek said. One interaction. Choose to be kind. Just one. See how it feels. Then do it again. It builds. What if I can't? What if I'm too far gone? I thought that too. But someone saw past my worst moment. Gave me a chance. I'm giving you the same chance. You can change. But you have to want to. Do you? She nodded, tears in her eyes. Do. I really do. Then start tomorrow. One kind interaction. Build from there. 6 months later, she emailed him. I did what you said. Started small. It's getting easier. I don't hate this job anymore. I don't hate myself. Thank you. Those messages came regularly. From agents across the country. People Derek had never met. But who'd heard him speak? Seen the documentary. Found hope in his story. He saved every message. On hard days, he read them. Remembered why this mattered. 2 years after the incident, TSA announced policy changes. Some directly traceable to the conversation Keanu had started. Increased funding for agent wellness programs. Mental health resources. Mandatory stress management training. Raises. Small, but significant. 5% across the board. It wasn't everything. Wasn't enough. But it was movement. Progress. Sarah Martinez, the administrator, credited the viral video indirectly. That incident sparked national conversation about how we treat frontline workers, about what we owe them. It created political will for change. We're grateful. She invited both Keanu and Derek to a press conference announcing the changes. Derek almost declined. I don't deserve to be on stage for this. You do, Sarah insisted. You represent what this is about. Growth. Seconde chance. Systemic support. You're the proof it works. The press conference was at Reagan National Airport. Media present. Cameras. Sarah spoke first. Outlined the changes. The investment in people. Then introduced Keanu. Mr. Reeves couldn't be here in person, but he sent remarks. A video played. Keanu speaking directly to camera. I'm grateful TSA is taking these steps, investing in their people, creating culture where agents can do their jobs effectively and humanely. This is how systems change, not through punishment, through support, through recognizing the human beings doing difficult work. I hope other industries follow this example. Take care of your people. They'll take care of everyone else. Then Derek spoke. Nervous. Reading from notes. 2 years ago, I was burned out. Cynical. I treated people badly, including someone who didn't deserve it. I could have been fired. Should have been, maybe. Instead, I was given chance. Training. Support. A path to become better. These new policies will give that chance to thousands of agents. Before they hit bottom. Before they become like I was. Prevention is better than correction. I am grateful to TSA leadership, to my colleagues, and to Mr. Reeves for seeing past one bad moment, for advocating for all of us. Thank you. The room applauded. Questions followed. One reporter asked Derek directly, do you still think about that day? The viral video? Every day. Not with shame anymore, but as a reminder of who I don't want to be, of who I'm trying to become. It's the worst and best thing that happened to me. Have you spoken with Mr. Reeves since? We've exchanged emails. Brief. He's busy. I am busy. But I hope to thank him in person someday. Properly. 3 months later, that opportunity came. Keanu was filming in Los Angeles. Action movie. Big production. He had a day off. Decided to visit TSA headquarters at LAX. Unofficial visit. Just wanted to see the operation. Talk to agents. Word spread quickly. Keanu Reeves in the building. Agents gathered. Excited. Nervous. He spent 2 hours. Touring facilities. Asking questions. Listening to experiences. He was genuinely interested. Not performing interest. Actually learning. Derek was working that day. Didn't know about the visit until his supervisor found him. Keanu Reeves is here. He asked if you were working. Wants to say hi. Derek's heart raced. Now. Right now. Break room. Come on. They walked together. Derek's mind spinning. What do you say to someone who saved your career? Your life? How do you express that? The break room was crowded. Agents everywhere. Keanu in the center. Talking. Laughing. He looked up. Saw Derek. Smiled. Genuine. Warm. Walked over. Derek. Good to see you. Mr. Reeves. I didn't know you were coming. Last-minute decision. Wanted to see how things were going. How are you? Good. Really good. I've been meaning to thank you. Properly. What you did for me. For all of us. I don't have words. Keanu waved it off. You did the work. I just pointed out what needed pointing out. How's the training program going? Heard you're involved. Yeah. Teaching new agents. Trying to pass on what I learned. It's fulfilling. More than I expected. That's great. That's how change sustains. People like you teaching others, creating culture. That matters more than anything I said. They talked for 20 minutes. Other agents drifted over, listening, asking questions. Keanu was patient, interested, treated everyone with respect. Not celebrity to fans, but person to people. It was masterclass in humility, in grace. Before he left, Keanu addressed the room. I just want to say, what you do matters. I know it doesn't always feel like it. I know passengers are difficult. The job is hard, but you keep people safe. That's not nothing. That's everything. Thank you, all of you, for serving, for showing up, for choosing to be kind even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Applause. Some agents emotional. Keanu shook hands, took photos, then was gone. The room buzzed. Energy lifted. Mood elevated. 1 visit, 2 hours. But the impact was real. Derek stood there, overwhelmed. A colleague put a hand on his shoulder. That's the guy you mocked. The guy who defended you. You're lucky. I know. Every single day I know. 5 years after the incident, the story had faded from public consciousness. Occasionally resurfaced when people reminisced about viral moments. But mostly forgotten. Life moved on. News cycles churned. But the ripples remained. TSA culture had shifted. Not everywhere. Not completely. But measurably. Agent satisfaction surveys showed improvement. Retention rates increased. Passenger complaint rates decreased. The documentary was required viewing for new hires. Derek's story was case study in training programs. Derek himself had been promoted. Pleine position. Full-time. Teaching at the TSA Academy. He and his family moved to Georgia, where the main training facility was located. Better pay. Better hours. Better quality of life. He loved the work. Teaching eager recruits. Imparting not just procedures, but philosophy. You'll see tens of thousands of faces in this job. Easy to forget each one is a person. With dreams, fears, bad days, good days. Your job is safety. But you can provide safety with dignity, with respect. That's the standard. That's what we're building. His students loved him, rated him highest among instructors. Not because he was easy, he was demanding, but fair, compassionate. He saw them as people, treated them as people, modeled what he taught. One student asked him, "Is the Keanu Reeves story true? Did that really happen to you?" Every word. I was the worst version of myself. Captured on video, seen by millions. Could have ended me. Instead, it saved me. Because one person chose grace over outrage. Chose to see potential instead of just failure. That changed my life. Changed this whole system. That's the power of grace. Of second chances. Do you still talk to him? Occasionally. Email. Brief. He's busy. Living his life. But I carry what he taught me. Every day. In every interaction. That's the real legacy. Not the viral moment. The lesson from it. The student nodded. Thoughtful. I hope I remember that. When things get hard. You will. I'll make sure of it. That's my job now. Making sure the next generation doesn't make my mistakes. Doesn't lose themselves like I did. You all get to start with what I learned the hard way. That's a gift. Don't waste it. Keanu, meanwhile, had moved on to other projects. Other causes. The TSA incident was footnote in a long life. But he'd see articles occasionally. Updates on changes at TSA. References to that day. He'd smile. Glad it had mattered. Glad something positive had come from one uncomfortable morning. He still flew commercial. Still went through regular security. Still treated agents with respect. Always. Not because cameras might be present, but because that's who he was. Consistently. Continuously. The character wasn't performance. It was him. Occasionally, an agent would recognize him. Thank him. You change how people see us. Thank you. He'd always deflect. You do the real work. I just talked about it. Thank you for serving. 7 years after the incident, Derek was invited to speak at a national security conference. Topic: Culture change in high-stress organizations. He became an expert. Sought after. Published articles. Appeared on panels. His keynote speech was personal. Vulnerable. 7 years ago, I was viral for all the wrong reasons. Caught being cruel. Dismissive. Mocking someone who didn't deserve it. I was burned out, lost. I'd forgotten why I'd taken this job, who I wanted to be. One moment of grace gave me a chance to remember, to rebuild, to become better. Not perfect, better. That's all any of us can aspire to. Not perfection, progress. Daily choice to be kinder, more patient, more human. That's the work. That's the only work that matters. Standing ovation. Questions afterwards. One attendee. What would you say to Keanu Reeves if you could say anything? Derek thought. I'd say thank you. Again, for seeing me as more than my worst moment. For believing in second chances. For using your platform to speak truth about systemic problems. You didn't have to, but you did. And it mattered. It still matters. Will always matter. Later that year, that message reached Keanu. Someone sent him a clip of Derek's speech. He watched it, smiled, felt warmth. Not pride, just satisfaction. That the choice he'd made 7 years ago had borne fruit, had created growth, had helped someone find themselves again. He sent an email. Simple, direct. Derek, saw your keynote speech. Incredibly moving. You've come so far. Done so much good. Teaching others. Changing culture. That's the real legacy. Not what I said. What you did with it. Proud of you. Keep going. Best, Keanu. Derek received it during dinner with his family. Read it. Passed the phone to his wife. She read it. Tears formed. He's proud of you. I'm proud of me too. Finally, after all this time, I am proud. His daughter, now 12, asked, Who's Keanu Reeves? Derek laughed. Someone who taught me an important lesson. About grace. About being better. When you're older, I'll tell you the whole story. Is it a good story? It starts bad, but ends good. The best kind of story. That night, Derek updated his journal. He'd kept one since the retraining. Daily reflections. Gratitude practice. What went well? What could improve? Tonight's entry. 7 years since the worst day of my life became the best thing that ever happened to me. 7 years of growth. Of learning. Of becoming who I always wanted to be. Still not perfect. Still have bad days. But I catch myself now. Course correct. Choose differently. That's the gift. Not perfection. Choice. Keanu showed me that. Modeled it. I'm passing it on to hundreds of students who will pass it to thousands more. One moment of grace. 7 years of ripples. Still expanding. Still changing lives. Still matching. That's legacy. That's everything. He closed the journal. Turned off the light. Thought about tomorrow. New class starting. 25 eager faces. Ready to learn. Ready to serve. He'd teach them procedures. Protocols. But more importantly, he'd teach them to see people. To maintain humanity. To never lose themselves in the grind. He'd teach them about grace. About second chances. About one morning at LAX when everything changed. Not because of a viral video, but because of what came after. The choice to grow. The choice to be better. The choice to honor the gift he'd been given. That was the lesson. That was the story. That was the legacy worth passing on.